Hello, brothers and sisters. My name is Louis Gamble, and I want to thank you for taking the time to come and check out this presentation of Black Wallets Matter, the financial blueprint to help Black America save itself. So before we begin, let me ask you a question. Do you think the Black community is in a state of emergency? Before you answer that question, let me give you some food for thought. According to the Pew Research Center, poverty affects 1 in 3, or roughly 4.2 million Black children living in America. That same report also shows that 72% of Americans living in poverty are single Black mothers. Data from the United States Department of Labor reports the unemployment rate for Blacks has consistently been double the rate of whites since 1954, the first year statistics started being recorded. And according to studies conducted by mappingpoliceviolence.org, Blacks are 300 to 500% more likely to be killed by police officers than whites. So let me ask you again, do you think the Black community is in a state of emergency? Do you think we need a plan? Well, the blueprint that I'm going to share with you today is that plan. It's a plan that explains how we can address the issues of Black poverty by providing educational courses and skilled trade programs to give our brothers and sisters the tools they need to enter the workforce and get good paying jobs. It's a plan that outlines how we can tackle the issue of Black unemployment by buying businesses and creating hundreds or even thousands of jobs. It's a plan for how we can provide character and career building programs that teach our youth the virtues of discipline and personal responsibility, as well as teaching them useful skills such as computer programming so they can take advantage of opportunities in their changing world. This plan will also discuss how we can hire lawyers and lobbyists in Washington to put a stop to racial injustices such as police brutality by protecting and enforcing our civil rights. And finally, this plan will reveal how we can pay for the social programs that we want by getting back a percentage of the $1.3 trillion we spend each year outside of the Black community without changing the stores we shop at or the things we buy. Now, I know you're probably wondering what's all this Black Wallets Matter stuff about, so let me take a few minutes to clear things up. First, let me say, Black Wallets Matter is not affiliated with Black Lives Matter. We have nothing against their movement, but we feel the Black community would be more effective at fixing our problems if we focused our energy and economic resources on helping ourselves and gaining political power. And despite what some so-called experts may lead you to believe, we know the Black community is not broke, destitute, and beyond all hope. We have assets. We just need to identify them and learn how to use them. So if you're wondering what assets we have, off the top of my head, I can think of 3. The first asset we have is the size of the Black population. The Census Bureau estimates there are roughly 42 million African Americans in the United States. If directed and focused properly, those kinds of numbers would give us a very powerful collective voice in Washington. The second asset we have is our tremendous spending power. It's estimated we spend $1.3 trillion a year. Again, if this spending power was focused and directed, we could afford to give every single Black man, woman, and child in America a check for $31,000. And our third asset is our collective knowledge base. Now, some of our current Black leaders say that Dr. King's civil rights movement for integration and inclusion hurt Black people, but I disagree. I think it was a brilliant strategy because now we have millions of Black people working in every sector and industry of the economy. We know how every game works because we have an inside man. We just need to harness that collective knowledge and direct it for the betterment of our people. Usually when we begin discussing ways to fix problems in the Black community, we spend a lot of time and energy coming up with a bunch of ideas, but those ideas stay in fantasy land because we never put the same time and energy into figuring out how to actually get started. Well, fortunately, this blueprint solves that problem. It gives us an organized plan to start using our assets so we can begin making progress as soon as possible. Okay, so now with that said, let me clarify a few more things. First, I want to say Black Wallets Matter is not a radical or militant group. I repeat, Black Wallets Matter is not a radical or militant group. We are not an anti-white, blue, green, or any other color group. We are not a hate or an extremist group. We have no problem working with other ethnic and social organizations if they want to support our cause, but they need to understand that first and foremost, this organization will take care of its own, and we will only be held accountable to members of the Black community. We're not so naive and arrogant to believe we know everything, so we'll consider any kind of input, but we want others to understand that we will not allow any outside supporters to dictate policy just because they made a contribution to our cause. Okay, so here's why this Black Wallets Matter movement is different. When it comes to the black community, all you hear about are the problems. But we could talk about problems all day till we're blue in the face. What we need are solutions. And I know one of the main solutions we're going to need if we want to succeed as a people is to have a sustainable source of funding that we control. I think our mission is too important to rely on charity. Why? Because if someone gave us charity, it could have strings attached, or they could pull it from us at any time. Plus, I think people just get tired of giving and not getting anything tangible back after a while. Now, I'm not saying we would turn down donations or grants, but this plan was designed to be self-funded, which is a major reason why it's different from other solutions. Self-funding is a benefit in and of itself, but here are a few others. Benefit number one. First and foremost, this blueprint focuses on revenue-generating activities. If we have money to buy the tools we need, then we can successfully rebuild the black community. And I'm sorry if that rubs some people the wrong way, because they think we should be focused on doing good and not making money. But I promise you, we won't be doing good for too long without money. Everything in America revolves around money, and companies work day and night to extract it from you. So this blueprint is designed to tap into that revenue stream we're giving to them and get some of that money back to us so we can use it to fund our programs. Benefit number two, this blueprint empowers us to help ourselves. Our support and contributions go directly towards fixing problems in the black community. We don't have to wait for help from the government or Oprah or Jay-Z and Beyonce. We can take matters into our own hands and produce real-world results with no bureaucracy, no red tape, and no excuses. Our brothers and sisters on the bottom rungs of society have the most problems and suffer the most abuses. They don't have the resources to invest in businesses, real estate, the stock market, or any other long-term wealth-producing assets. They need money to feed and clothe their kids next week, so we need to get them help as soon as possible. Benefit number three, this blueprint allows effortless participation, meaning it will work without requiring any of us to make drastic changes to our behavior. We don't have to march, we don't have to start growing afros, or we don't have to start wearing dashikis, and we don't have to stop talking to our white friends. We can stay the way we are, continue to do the things we like to do, and still make an impact. The fourth benefit of this blueprint is its ability to leverage technology. Brothers and sisters that want to support our movement can communicate and participate from anywhere in the country or the world for that matter. And they can do so from the comfort and convenience of their smartphones and computers. Listen, there's a lot of very well-to-do brothers and sisters that are shocked by what's going on in Black America. They would support any one of the social programs our community needs in a heartbeat, but they're not going to travel out of their way just to put a few dollars in the collection jar or stand out on the street corners protesting while the police throw tear gas in their face. And they're not going to put signs on their front lawns or bumper stickers on their cars that say Black Power. This blueprint recognizes that segment of our community and allows them to comfortably support their beliefs without drawing attention to themselves. Also, by leveraging technology, supporters are able to take immediate action. At the end of this presentation, you won't have to stand around wondering what you should do next to get involved. Everything will be clearly explained, and you can take the next steps right here online. Okay, so now that we know the benefits of this plan, let's take a look at the actual blueprint and talk about how all this fancy stuff works. The Black Wallets Matter blueprint consists of 5 main components: 3 sources of revenue and 2 social projects with underlying objectives. The sources of revenue will be used to fund our social projects, so let's take a look at each component in detail. At the foundation of the Black Wallets Matter movement is a member association. In essence, the association is a brother and sisterhood that comes together to accomplish 3 very important goals for the benefit of the black community. Goal number 1, to be that one organization the black community can support and know their contributions will be used for the benefit of our people. Now, I'm not pointing any fingers, but I don't feel we have a main organization that's on the front lines representing our interests and taking action to effectively solve our problems anymore. The organizations we have now are just a bunch of people playing politics and trying to get the most they can for themselves. This association aims to change that and actually fight for the people. Goal number 2 of the association is to unite members of the black community that are sick and tired of all the talking and protesting and are ready to take action. The association will provide a platform for members to organize, voice their concerns, and create action plans that will be executed in a way that brings about real change. And the third goal of the association is to get at least 1 million members over the next 3 to 5 years. Why 1 million members? Because if we all speak at once, it becomes a powerful voice that can't be ignored. And when I say speak, I don't mean vocally. I mean using our black wallets to exert real power in politics and in our communities. Listen, I know most people think the whole game in America is based on a black and a white thing, and I don't deny racism exists, but I'm telling you, these days, it's more of a have and a have-nots thing. You can disagree with me if you like, but these are the facts. Here in America, money breaks down most racial and social barriers, and it buys you a seat at the big boys table. The Jews have proved it, the LGBT community has proved it, and most recently, the immigrants and refugee protesters have proved it. President Trump signed an executive order banning them from coming in the country on a Friday afternoon, and within the same weekend, these refugees and immigrants raised $24.1 million to hire lawyers who in a matter of days had a federal judge overrule his executive order. Now understand this, folks. We're talking about the President of the United States, the most powerful man in the most powerful country on the planet. And for them to be able to overrule him in such a short period of time is just insane. But it proves that money buys power. So we better wake up and put our chips together so we can buy a seat at that table too. The association will have three main revenue streams. Number one, association membership dues. Number two, member shopping activity. And number three, business activity. The first source of funding will be association membership dues. These dues will provide us with the base of sustainable funding we need for our social programs. But again, I want to stress, this is not a charity or a donation. This is like any other member association. You pay your dues, you get valuable benefits. I'll get into the details of the membership benefits in a bit, but let's look at the next revenue streams for now. Our second revenue stream will be member shopping activity. Now, this is what I mean when I say we'll get back a percentage of the $1.3 trillion we spend outside the black community each year. Thousands of companies pay a commission or referral fee for sending them customers, including major retailers like Walmart, Target, Macy's, and Sears. So if we had 1 million members shopping at these stores, especially during the holidays, and we earned a commission on each sale, the amount of money we could generate each year would be staggering. The fastest and easiest way for us to get started right now is via online shopping. E-commerce is one of the fastest growing sectors of the economy, and since it's pertaining to shopping, you know who's leading the pack, right? But that's not a negative thing. It's one of our assets, and we need to own it. So one of the first things the association will do is build relationships with these retailers, then create a shopping portal and mobile app for our members to click through so our sales can be calculated and attributed to our spending. And the true beauty of this revenue model is that it doesn't cost our members a single penny extra. They can shop at the stores they like, get the products they want, pay the same price, and still help the black community. And once we negotiate volume discounts and exclusive coupons, members will pay even less. This is a no-brainer, folks. It's just free money sitting on the table waiting for us to pick up. Our third source of funding will be the association's business development activities. Now, this part of the blueprint gets me very, very excited. Here's where we'll really be able to flex our financial muscles and put the world on notice and let them know that we're not playing. With the revenues we generate from membership dues and member shopping activity, we can create new companies or buy existing brands and businesses. Under normal circumstances, starting a new venture would be a risky proposition, but with 1 million members as a built-in potential customer base, the odds of success are stacked in our favor. Okay, our main goal for buying businesses is to create jobs for our brothers and sisters and grow our organization's capital base. So we need to be looking at businesses that require a lot of labor, like supermarkets, retail stores, manufacturing facilities, transportation companies, and businesses in the food service and hospitality industries. Now, obviously, we're talking about buying successful businesses, and there are a couple of benefits of this strategy over starting a new one. First, existing businesses come with customers that already like and patronize the brand. That includes customers outside the black community. So now we could turn the tables for once and use other people's money to build our community up. Another benefit is existing businesses come with infrastructure. That means they have vendor relationships, equipment, and most of the time good reputations already in place. We don't have to spend a lot of time and money trying to figure out the game, which is usually one of the major startup costs when launching a business from scratch. So, like I said, the main reason we want to buy these businesses is so we could provide jobs for our brothers and sisters. And as far as I know, there's no law against buying a manufacturing plant that employs hundreds or even thousands of people somewhere in the middle of cow country and then moving that plant to one of our urban areas. Yeah, sure, there'll be a few people affected by that move, but we need those jobs, and this is America. Big businesses do it all the time. Just look at what they did to Detroit. The way I see it, we can have our people working in factories to create products and have others working in the marketing, sales, and distribution of those products. Now granted, some of these jobs may be low-level work, but our people need to understand that the entry-level jobs we create are just a stepping stone to better jobs and careers. We'll encourage them to go to school or learn a trade while they work so they can move on to more lucrative opportunities. But more importantly, they can leave that job open for another brother or sister coming up behind them to take advantage of. So that's pretty much how the association works to generate enough income to support our social activities. It'll be yet another asset for the black community because it gives us the ability to create our own jobs and support our own businesses. Now let's take a look at our social projects. We'll start with the community resource centers. The main function of each community resource center is to provide our struggling brothers and sisters opportunities for job training, skilled trades training, educational programs, affordable child care, and youth services. The first center will be in a major black city so we can reach more of our sisters and brothers in one shot. We haven't decided exactly which city to start, but we're thinking about someplace like Atlanta or Philly because the real estate is more affordable compared to someplace like LA or New York, and they have large industries in and around those cities to put our newly trained brothers and sisters to work. Our job training plan is to work closely with employers and monitor workforce trends to learn which skills are in demand and then train our people in these fields so they can take advantage of growing industries. The Department of Labor trends indicate healthcare, transportation, IT, and manufacturing are growing industries and will need more workers. Okay, so let's talk about educational programs. Since these kinds of programs will require city and state accreditation, we'll look to partner with existing schools until we can get our own credentials. The center will most likely function as a classroom for students taking adult basic education and GED courses. And we'll definitely have computer labs so students can come take online college courses and learn computer programming. Child care and youth programs. At the core of our youth programs will be activities that instill strong character traits such as self-respect, pride in heritage, and self-responsibility. We will have black professionals and business owners provide mentorship to our young brothers and sisters so they can see positive role models that look like themselves and know that rising above their current circumstances is possible. I believe we can make a major impact on school-age children and catch them before they get caught up in the streets. These programs will have a positive compounding effect, and as these school-age children grow and learn, year after year, we'll have more industrious teenagers that will eventually become productive black adults. Okay, so now we'll get into how we're going to build legal and political power. But before we do, we need to take a look at where we are and understand what's really going on. Black America, in this modern age with all the anti-hate and anti-discrimination laws we have on the books, the racism we encounter today is simply a matter of disrespect. It's disrespect for the way our children act a fool on social media, fighting, using drugs, committing crimes, and displaying unbelievably ignorant behavior for the whole world to see. It's disrespect for the way our so-called celebrities get exploited on trashy reality TV shows, and instead of carrying themselves as examples for our youth to aspire to, they choose to act like ghetto-ass cartoon characters and reinforce negative stereotypes about how black people with money still have no class. It's disrespect for how our black men publicly mistreat our black women. It's how we deface our neighborhoods and turn them into war zones by killing each other. And I'm sorry if this offends anyone, but I gotta call it like I see it. We are weak, and as we all know from grade school, bullies like picking on the weak. But can we really blame them? That's just the way nature is. We've all heard the saying, only the strong survives. Well, that's because the natural order of things is for the strong to kill off the weak so the strong can survive, reproduce, and evolve. Nature wants each new generation to be stronger, so we can't fight the natural order of things and expect to win. We got to make plans to get stronger. We need our own lawyers and lobbyists to introduce legislation that protects us whenever someone does anything we deem anti-black. It becomes a hate crime, and then we can have them prosecuted under those same laws. Then we'll sue the hell out of them and anyone they knows that may have had a hand in shaping their worldviews in civil court. That's the way the Jewish community does it, and that's the way we should do it. So here's our challenge. Now, when we start trying to push for this legislation, there's going to be a lot of blowback. Other ethnic groups, they're going to complain how black people need to get over it and move on and, all of this stuff. But nah. We not getting over nothing. We have legal and historical grounds for special consideration of the laws that we're proposing. We were enslaved in this country for 246 years, and there's irrefutable proof that slavery has had detrimental effects on our people mentally, emotionally, and socioeconomically. And then even after slavery, We were persecuted for another 100 years during the Jim Crow segregation era. And then since the mid-70s, our men have disproportionately become victims of mass incarceration. So this racial marginalization has completely destroyed the black family. I mean, millions of black fathers are taken away from their sons and daughters. Their sons grow up frustrated and self-destructive, and they're rarely taught how to become responsible black men. Their daughters grow up watching their mothers take care of the family, and so now they get the impression that they can't depend on a man. So when they have their children and things get rough between them and their children's father, they have no interest in keeping the black family unit together. So this all leads to a vicious cycle of black children growing up without the benefit and balance of both parents. And it just goes over and over and over again. So this is the plight of black America, and it was caused by the racial practices of white America. So we have to bring these issues to the forefront, and we need to keep it there as a reminder that we are a special case, and we want a review and revision of the laws and the practices that violate our civil and constitutional rights. But, you know, nothing is going to happen unless we take decisive action. So we have to hire the right lawyers and lobbyists in Washington. We have to start contributing to political campaigns, or we have to start buying and renting these people just like everybody else does. We have to let the powers that be know that we're not playing this time. So, you know, if we could hire black people to represent our interests in Washington, that would be cool. But I'm thinking if they were already in a position to help us and they haven't, then either they don't care about our interests or they aren't powerful enough. So if we find that to be the case, then we need to hire the same guys the Jewish and the LGBT community use, right? Because, I mean, at least we know that those guys know how the system works and it can get the job done. So I was researching some lobbyists with track records of making things happen in Washington, and here's a few things that I found that were kind of interesting. So according to OpenSecrets.org, which is a research group that tracks how money influences politics and elections and public policy, right? So like in 2016, our most prominent black organization, which is the NAACP, they spent only $336,574 on lobbying in Washington. Now let's compare that to $1,480,000 spent by the American Unity Fund, which is an LGBT organization, and $3,367,637 spent by pro-Israel and Jewish organizations. Right, so like with these types of discrepancies, you can see why other organizations have political influence and the black community has none. All right, so let's talk Turkey, right? So how much are we actually talking about here to like get this stuff off the ground, right? So what is it really going to cost you? We put a lot of thought into how to give you maximum benefit for your association membership, and we wanted to make it super easy to support, and we wanted to make it affordable. So here's the deal. There's 3 association membership levels. You could become a silver supporter for $10 a month, a golden ambassador for $25 a month, or a platinum champion for $50 a month. Each level comes with certain benefits, and obviously the higher level member you are, the more, you know, perks and benefits you're going to get. Now I'll get into the benefits in a second, but let's just have a little fun with math and see how these small membership dues can fund our initiatives. So the goal of the association is to have 1 million members within the next 3 to 5 years, right? So 1 million people is about 2.4% of the 42 million black people living in America. So with 1 million members paying only $10 a month, we're talking about $10 million a month or $120 million a year. If we can get an even number of members at the $25 and $50 levels, then our average monthly membership dues would be $28, which is more than $300 million a year, right? So what's exciting is with those kinds of revenues, we would be able to secure like a $1 to $2 billion loan based on, the 300 million, 120 million, based on those kinds of revenues. Now just think about how much political power we could buy if we had $1 or $2 billion to use for the benefit of the black community, right? So like that's the incredible power of multiplying these small numbers. So again, let's look at the membership levels. All the things we want to do, starting and buying businesses, creating jobs, building community centers, hiring lawyers and lobbyists, all of this stuff can be done for either 10, 25, or $50 a month. Now that's less than your cell phone bill. That's less than a pair of shoes or a night out at the club. It's peanuts. So realistically, we have no excuse not to do this. And if you're really passionate about this cause and you can afford to contribute more than a platinum membership, which is $50 a month, then consider sponsoring another brother or sister. You give them the gift of membership and let them know that you practice the virtue of solidarity, which is something we need more of in the black community anyway. All right, so let's take a look at what the membership benefits look like. Okay, so, like I said before, our main priority is to get back some of that $1.3 trillion we spend each year. Right now, we're trying to negotiate exclusive deals for our members so that whenever you shop at one of the retailers we have relationships with, not only will they contribute a percentage back to the sale, you get a good deal too. We have people working on relationships with Amazon.com, Walmart.com, Target, Best Buy, Sears, Kmart, places like that. And so once we have about 25 to 30 stores in place, then we'll start working on the shopping portal and the mobile app so that we can track membership sales. And then, of course, we have to have the fun stuff, right? So we're going to try to get discount travel packages on vacations and cruises, as well as discount tickets to party shows and festivals, sporting events and concerts. And just like with the retailers, our goal is to get these event promoters to give us back a portion of sales in exchange for us sending, association members their way. It's estimated we spend 30 to 40 billion a year on travel alone. So if we could get back like 1 to 2% of that, man, we're talking about another $300 to $600 million to the bottom line. So these two perks are our main priority right now because they are in an alignment with the things that black people already do, right? So we already shop a lot and we party and we spend money on entertainment. So next, right, we thought about ways to make the association really useful for each individual. So we want to offer financial literacy courses, right? So that will include money management and investment courses to help our members get their financial house in order. We're thinking about starting off with credit repair and credit counseling services because a lot of brothers can use that to grow their financial base. We were looking at using household budgeting and comparing it to like running a small business to help people understand how to save and how to, budget for expenses and how to invest wisely to grow their money. And finally, so we want the benefits of the association to be on par with any other kind of organization. So we're looking at how we can get roadside assistance and discounted auto and medical and dental insurance for our members. Those services will be further down the road, but we just want our members to know that we're constantly working towards improving the benefit packages. To get started, we're going to need enough initial members to start approaching some of these companies. They're not going to offer discounts to 100 or 200 people. We need to bring them numbers like 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. Those kinds of numbers will raise their eyebrows and make them sit up and pay attention to us. But the deals with the major retailers, that's already in the works because we have people with existing relationships. So this is the timeline of our milestones. So to be honest, right now, we don't know exactly which perk will fall under each membership level, right? Because we don't have enough members right now to go and negotiate with these companies. We estimate that it will take about 3 to 6 months to get enough association members signed up and then get the benefits packages sorted out at each level, and also to get a beta version of the shopping portal and the app developed. But, I just want to say this. If you're feeling anything that you've heard so far and you're feeling this movement and you want to see it grow, then just get in at the level you're comfortable with and root for the home team, because we're going to win. To get this thing off the ground, we're going to need true believers in the potential of the black community. We're going to need optimists. We're going to need brothers and sisters who's like, hell yeah, I'm down for the cause. And we want to honor those brothers and sisters for their faith and their participation, because this is truly the start of something new. So we want to commemorate the first 2,000 people that join, that become members as founding members, right? So as a founding member, you'll receive awards denoting your contribution to rebuilding Black America. And we'll have annual appreciation dinners and banquets and ceremonies, and you'll come up and, we'll say your name and you'll get plaques and awards and, things like that. We'll make a real nice function out of it. We'll hire celebrities to come and do shows, and, but it'll be a really intimate affair for the first 2,000 people. And distinctions that you receive at these events, these things will transfer and impact your kids and your grandkids, right? So, when this thing takes hold and Black America has really been changed, your grandkids and your kids and maybe your great grandkids, they're going to be proud. They're going to be proud, and they're going to say, hey, listen, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, they were one of the founding members of this new Black legacy. I'm serious. This is like how important this movement is to, to our people. But, with that said, I'm a businessman, and I understand how business works, right? So if you spend your money, you deserve some kind of guarantee of value in exchange, or you're entitled to getting your money back. So that's what we're offering, right? So we're going to give you a 90-day money-back guarantee, right? Like if you're buying something on freaking TV. And here's how that works. So as we progress, we're going to hold weekly town hall meetings and Q&A sessions online to provide reports to members about how things are moving along, and to get feedback, right? But, if for any reason you're not happy with the progress we're making, or you're just not feeling the movement, you can cancel your membership and get a full refund for up to 90 days. So that means if we're 3 months down the road and you're not feeling it, you can get back every penny you contributed. If we're 6 months down the road, you can get back the last 3 months of your membership dues. Personally, I can't think of a stronger guarantee to protect your investment of time, money, and your faith in this movement. Right? So now understand, this guarantee will only be valid until we get the benefit package and the shopping assets sorted out, right? Because once we're officially live, all new members, they'll only have the option of canceling that current month's membership. They won't receive any previous dues. So, so I hope that takes away some of the concerns people may have about, okay, I'm feeling the movement, I want to get behind it, but, there's a little hesitation. You're entitled to getting your money back for up to 3 months. All right. So listen, I'm going to let you get out of here because I know I've been bending your ear for long enough, but let me just say one more thing before I go. This movement is not for everybody. For some people, it's not going to make sense, or they're just not going to believe it's possible. For others, they just don't care about what's going on in the Black community. But that's cool. We can't worry about them. We have young brothers and sisters getting slaughtered out there in this country, and they need our help. There's just no way in hell that we can let the racism that's going on in this country to go on unchallenged. Because, next thing you know, we're going to be back to how it was in the 50s and the 60s. So fortunately for those of us who do care, who feel like we want to do something, we don't need the whole Black population's participation to make this work anyway, right? We only need 2.4% to make this work. So don't worry about the next man or the next woman. You don't have to hold their hand. You don't have to stand together with them holding picket signs. Hell, you don't even have to like them. All you have to do is your part. Don't worry about how we're going to get to 1 million members. Don't worry if we can get to 1 million members. Just add yourself, and maybe you can spread the word to 1 or 2 of your close friends that that you feel are conscious, that want to do something about what's going on in the Black community. And I guarantee you the rest will take care of itself, because once we start taking action and making moves, other people are going to want to join anyway. That's just how people are. Everyone loves a winner. Right? So just understand what we're talking about is creating a major change in the current state of Black America. Right now, our people are at the bottom of the totem pole, and they don't deserve to be. We put in way too much work, and we've come pretty far, despite, whatever's going on. This country was literally built by the sweat of our brows and on the strength of our backs. So we got to keep it pushing. And it may seem like a long road ahead, but you got to remember, we went from slavery to the White House. So that journey for Barack Obama started 500 years ago when the first slave was like, yo, you know what, I'm just not feeling this. And he tried to run off, and he may have got killed, he may have got caught. I mean, I don't know. But it all began with, somebody taking that single step. So this movement will be the same way. We have to take that first step and step out on faith, right? And then you'll see how easy it is to start chipping away at these problems once we build some momentum. And in 5 years, we'll have made a nice dent in this problem. And in 10 years, we'll have made a difference. And in 20 years from now, we could be able to look back and say, look at the impact that we had. And future generations of Black America, they'll be able to enjoy unprecedented levels of wealth, security, and racial pride. And in my opinion, that's the greatest legacy any of us today can hope to leave for our children. So here's what you do next. First thing, please share this presentation on social media. Post it to your Facebook account, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it is that you're into. Post a link to it there, right? Because if you don't do one other thing, at least you'll be helping spread awareness about this movement. And, Black America appreciates you for it. After that, there's a sign-up form. Enter your name and your email address in the form, and we'll send you updates as the Black Lives Matter movement progresses. Signing up is also important because the content of this information that we're spreading, some of our social media accounts are bound to get shut down. Videos are bound to get, shut down or whatever. So we're going to be using email as our default communication channel. And then once you sign up, you will be invited to become an association member. So again, like I said, if you're feeling anything that, that you've heard tonight and you believe in this movement and you think that your Black wallet matters, then take the jump, become a member. And, I'll see you on the other side. Like I said, my name is Louis Gamble. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. Peace.